I need to move this chair here, right here. You hear me? I need to move this right here. Okay, let me make sure this is right. Okay.
It's almost no lunch anyway out the out.
Okay. You're fine. You're fine. I just need to make sure all the optics are right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today for this little introduction into dispatching. If you'll give me just a minute, I am trying to respond back to one of my dispatchers, and I'll be right with you to kind of let you know what we do here and how it works and how this could actually work for you in your particular set of circumstances. And you can actually make a lucrative career out of dispatching. So give me just 1 second. I've got to respond back to a few messages real quick. I do a lot of communicating with my dispatchers by text message instead of email and instead of phone call. It makes it better for me, it makes it better for them. We're not tied up on the phone all day, just asking quick questions. Um, Thursdays is usually a pretty busy day as far as what's going on um, in the logistics world. Okay, so anyway, what this little class is designed to do, and normally, guys, I'm at home, but today I'm in the office um, trying to get some things done. So that's the one good thing about doing something such as this. You have options as far as where you can work and where you can do these things at. You can do it from the comforts of your home. You can do it in an office setting. You can travel. You can do all kinds of things and still be able to draw a lucrative income no matter what your current situation is. And this works good for a lot of uh, ladies and women that like to stay home with their children. By the time you go to work and then pay for things such as daycare and things like that, it kind of negates the whole purpose of you working. But this particular part of the industry in logistics allows you to have the flexibility to be able to take care of whatever your responsibilities are and still be able to provide for your family. And that's what I love the most about this. Once you learn this industry and get your niche in dispatching, it's only the sky's the limit from there. This is a dog eat dog type of industry. This particular phase of the industry is a dog eat dog type thing. It's very competitive, but once you establish yourself and get your niche, there's there's basically nothing no one else can do to kind of knock you off of that particular mountain because drivers their tendencies are to stick with a particular dispatcher that they're comfortable with. I drove trucks for 10 years and I stuck with when I found this one particular broker, I stuck with that broker. I didn't go out venturing to see what was better or things like that because I was making a lucrative income, but at the same time there was a lot of other conveniences that being tied to that particular broker offered me. So the same is with being a dispatcher. Once drivers get comfortable with you, then there is nothing no one can really do to kind of knock you off the mountain. As long as you're giving them loads where they can earn and make good revenue, then you'll have that driver. So anyway, it's kind of to get into this field. Like I said, it's very competitive. It's a good old boy industry. It was. It has changed over the years. You have now a lot of foreigners. When I say foreigners, I mean actually people that live in foreign countries such as Pakistan, Afghanistan, India, and things like that that have found their niche in this industry. Some of them are legitimate players, some of them are not. So when that demographic got involved into logistics and into the industry, it changed the landscape totally. And so, that being the case, you have the good old boys that constantly try to move the goalposts to where uh, the everyday normal Joe is not able to do this. And it took me a while to understand how dispatching works. Now, I was a truck driver and I owned my own trucks. I owned multiple trucks for years. But until I started doing this, I really did not understand um, what all is involved in logistics and what it takes to be financially successful. So, all truck drivers, I would encourage you as well to take this course in truck driving. Not, I mean, in dispatching, not just um, those that are interested in dispatching. But if you want to understand your business and how you can maximize your business, and if your current dispatcher is giving you the loads that are convenient for you, that are financially lucrative for you, then I advise you to take this course as well. If I had have taken my own course years ago, I would be probably financially well ahead of where I was in the industry as a driver. So anyway, what do truck dispatchers really do? Truck dispatchers are responsible, are financially responsible for the revenue that a particular truck driver generates. So the weight of responsibility on a dispatcher is it's a great responsibility. And I won't lie to you, sometimes it can be very stressful because you're dealing with brokers. You're dealing with uh, as a dispatcher, you're dealing with brokers, you're dealing with drivers, you're dealing with shippers, you're dealing with receivers. All of those four individuals are not going to be happy at the same time. That's the key. So and constantly balancing the different personalities is kind of something that you have to work at. It's an acquired skill to be able to effectively give each party what they're looking for. The shipper and receiver are most of the time pretty simple, unless you're dealing with complex commodities such as food. I consider food to be complex because of the time schedules involved. Usually, the delivery or the pickup and the delivery of food items can generally throw your whole schedule off. So that's why I say that can be a little complex. Then dealing with things such as lumber and things like that can be complex. So but for the most part, overall, the shipper and the receiver are the simple ones. The brokers and dealing with the drivers is where the complication comes in at, especially with the brokers, because once you've got to develop relationships with brokers. You really have to, uh, and it might not be an individual person. When I say brokers, a brokerage, that could be a company. So as a dispatcher, as a driver, your overall responsibility is to establish a relationship with that brokerage. Um, that way, you develop a history there, and anytime it eventually goes from you going to the brokers, looking for loads, to the brokers coming to you to see if you can fulfill some of their needs and their hauls. So it gets a little tricky as a dispatcher, but it can be very lucrative. Um, how dispatchers keep America's freight moving. Dispatchers are not looked down upon as much as brokers are. Brokers really uh, put a bad taste in a lot of drivers' mouth, because a lot of drivers feel that the broker is taking a piece of the money, that they are, and they're not actually doing the work. The driver is actually doing the work. There's some validity to that, but there's a lot of brokers out there that are fair. There's a lot of brokers out there that will negotiate, that will work with the dispatchers and the drivers to give a fair compensation to the drivers. Um, but dispatchers are responsible for, in my opinion, they are the heartbeat of the industry. Of course, the driver is the main caveat there. But if you don't have someone feeding you, you're not going to eat. So the dispatcher is responsible for feeding the truck driver, and the dispatcher's responsibility is heavy: looking for loads, negotiating the rates with the brokers, making sure that the times are are able to be met, the pickup times, the delivery times, knowing what drivers' hours of service are. Excuse me. And see, that's where a lot of beginning dispatchers or dispatchers in general fall short at. They do not consider things like, okay, how much time does the driver have remaining on their clocks? Um, are they able to make this pickup time? Are they able to make that delivery time? Because that affects your MC number. Because a lot of these companies, such as the RXOs, such as the CH Robinson, you have carrier schools. So they actually grade you on your competency, your ability to get loads there on time, your um, your on time ratio, and things like that. Your how many loads, your history with them, and a lot of them will give you points. A lot of them will give you rewards and things like that if you're able to get these loads delivered on time. If you start developing a history with the different brokerages and things like that. So as a dispatcher, you have to know these things. You have to actually know the personalities of the different brokerage that you're dealing with. Um, so the dispatchers are the ones that actually feed the drivers. Um, so how can dispatching? I'm trying to go in order to answer some questions that are frequently asked questions that I get asked a lot on our site. How dispatching can lead to career and business opportunities? That's a good question. Okay. Um, so let's answer that, guys. How can dispatching lead to career and business opportunities? And for me to get you to understand this, you've got to follow me here. This is what makes or breaks you as far as how you can get to that 68,000 per year income. Now, when I said 68,000 per year, that's a low number to me because you can do more. And a lot of people will always shoot you the highest number when they're trying to sell you something or when they're trying to pitch you something. A lot of times they will shoot you the highest number that only the superstars can obtain. You know, only the best of the best and those that have been doing it a long time can obtain. And that is not how dispatching works. That is not the number that I fed you when I said 68,000. I actually fed you what I thought was a reasonable number based on, and a mid-range number and a reasonable number based on what our company does, okay, and the revenue that we can generate, and that you can generate working with the perfect dispatcher. And I want to give a shout out to our sponsors. Uh, I want to give a shout out to Karma Social Club that is located on Magside Drive in Alongapo City, 20 Magside Drive. They're open now. As a matter of fact, they're the premier social club in Alongapo City, the nightclub, social club. There's different aspects of that Karma brings to Alongapo City. They also sponsor events and do different things like that. And we'll talk more about our sponsors as we go along in this particular broadcast. But shout out to Karma Social Club. They're open right now, as a matter of fact. So if you're looking for a place to go, there's different clubs on Longapo on Magside side, there's Club 22. Um, and there's another one that used to be called Empire. I have no idea what it's called now. But those are kind of like the big clubs that are here on the main strip in the city. But Karma is kind of different, and Karma gives you a little bit of class, a little bit of elegance. It gives you an experience. You're not just going there to party and have fun, but it gives you an experience that you walk away with, and you'll be like, yeah, okay, this place is it. It gives you that Miami uh, type vibe from the U.S. So check them out. If you're in Olongapo, to all my Philippine listeners that are in Olongapo City, check out Karma Club. They're going right now. It's on Magside Drive. It's right there by the, not far from the Circle J and not far from, uh, let's see, what's the name? It's a little coffee shop on the side right there, but it's not too far from McDonald's. Big black building with a big, huge sign on it that says Karma. Okay. And also one of our sponsors, Zugba Grill, all you can eat seafood and barbecue. It's located on 46 Gordon Avenue in Olongapo City. They have the best seafood and barbecue in the city, so you also want to give them a check out whenever you can, guys. But okay, so let's get back into this. How dispatching can lead to career and business opportunities. Okay. So in dispatching, how do I get paid as a dispatcher? Number one. Well, there's several different ways dispatchers get paid, okay? But two of the main ways is either through commissions based on the loads that you book for your drivers, or it's if you're on a job, generally a dispatcher makes anywhere between 21 to $32 an hour. Now that does depend on the type of experience you have. There are companies out there that will hire you with no experience and willing to train you, but every time you can walk, and that's not many companies that will do that. And generally, when that happens, of course, you start at the bottom of the ladder, you go through all the growing pains and things of that nature, and you're well behind other people when it comes to uh, your knowledge and your skill set. And that's where we come in. We provide you all the tools and all the training that you need to be successful in this industry. Okay. We don't just give you a bunch of videos and PDFs and let you go. We don't do that. You actually have an online instructor that has been trained by me that actually goes through each and every module with you, each and every video. We have question and answers, we have tests, we have all of those things to make sure you adequately understand what you're getting into, that you're efficient, and you know things such as load boards. You have to know how to navigate around load boards. You need to understand the different functions and the functionality of the load boards because loads are there and they're gone just like that. So if that's going to be one of your primary, and it either needs to, it doesn't have to be your primary, but if that's going to be any one of the tools that you use in dispatching, then you need to know how to navigate around the load board in a quickly, in a pretty quick fashion because loads are not there long. They're there and then they're gone. How to read rate confirmations. That is very important. When you make a deal with a broker, everything is confirmed in writing. Nothing is confirmed, nothing is a deal until you get that what's called a rate confirmation. You need to be able to understand a rate confirmation and the information that it's supposed to contain. That's very important for the protection of your driver. Uh, the worst thing you can do is send a driver out there with no information, and that's horrible, and you won't keep that driver for long. So you've got to understand how to read rate confirmations. And guys, when you're booking a load, these things actually happen in minutes. I'm sorry guys, hold on 1 second for me. This Stan, how may I help you? This is Stan, how may I help you? Anyway, so loads are booked. I mean, you've got to know how to operate quickly when you're booking loads. So we train you, we give you all the tools, we hold your hand, so to speak, and we walk with you through everything. Invoicing and billing, we also handle that. So we teach you how to properly invoice, how to send in PODs, how to. And this guy's about to get on my nerve. This is Stan. How may I help you?
Hi, this is Zach. How are you, sir?
I'm good, and yourself?
I am fine. So, I just want to transfer your call to my display department. You just have give me a few moments, please.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm currently in the middle of doing something. Tell me, once you transfer this call, what exactly is the purpose of? What are we trying to do right now?
And so we just trying to do it sign up with us as like you will send me a documentation for the dispatch. And so I will send you all the documentations to my dispatch department, and my dispatch department start working with us.
Okay. First of all, before we even go to that point, let's talk about percentage rates. What percentage rate do you guys charge?
And so, the last time we were talking about the percentage is 6%. So what you think? How many percentage you can give me?
For
So,
which vehicles?
so
I know I didn't say 6% because we don't do 6% with anyone. We do 5 and we do 4. Usually for the semi trucks we do 4%. For the box trucks we do 5%.
sir, do not worry. We will negotiate on this. I will just transfer your call to my dispatch, and you will negotiate with this percentage.
Okay.
Yes, just stay with me.
Sorry, guys, give me a second. This is actually what's called an external dispatcher. They're trying to onboard with our company, the Perfect Dispatchers, to become one of our dispatchers. And so this is a good. I'm glad I got this call, and I hope you guys can hear it because this will show you how you will make money as a
Yes, hello,
dispatcher.
good afternoon. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well. What can I do for you, sir?
This is Hakim, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Actually, Mr. Zach just forwarded me your like profile, and he was telling me you have a driver and like you need some notes from different from us. So if you have just 5 minutes, can we talk? Like if you're working, he was telling me you're also doing a percentage, like the dispatch percentage. So would you tell me if you're working with some other dispatch or if you're working yours by yourself right now?
I'm sorry, sir. Could you repeat that portion? I didn't understand you.
I said like if you have another dispatcher with you who are working or if you're booking your loads by yourself.
We have several. We have an internal team that can look for loads, but I usually like to outsource it so my internal team can work on rate confirmations. They can work on routing and things like that for our drivers. So I try to outsource the dispatching to other dispatchers. Now, the percentage rate, before we go any further, it's a mute conversation if we don't get agree on the percentage rate. So for the semi trucks, we usually do 4% with all our external dispatchers. On the box truck, we do 5%. So if you're agreeable to that, then I guess we can go further in the conversation.
Yes, that should be fine. We can go further.
Okay. Um, so most of our drivers, I'm gonna try to make this. I'm gonna try to sum this up quick for you, and then I can send you everything in an email. Most of our drivers are in the Georgia area, so they're pretty easy to dispatch. I don't do New York. I don't do California. I try to stay out of certain areas like Montana and Wyoming, things like that. I will go to Utah every now and then. I also try to stay out of the Northeast. No New York. I'll go to Pennsylvania, Jersey, places like that.
Yeah,
Um,
the states have tools.
I try to I try to stay out of Florida as much as possible because you get good loads going into Florida, you get crap coming out. But if I have to go to Florida, I will. But if you book me something for Florida, you need to understand that I need to have a good load or a good rate coming out of Florida. So you need to know that before you even book something for Florida. Okay. Um, don't I'm just trying to sum up everything real quick because I'm in the middle of doing something. Please don't send me crap loads. A lot of our new dispatchers, they do that. They'll send me loads and then it just wastes my time. It wastes their time. Um, you know, because we know what the market is. We study the market. We know what it is. So we generally, know what's a good load, what's not. The deadhead miles, we try to keep that down as low as possible, but we understand, at times we will have to deadhead and things like that. So what I can do, I can get you over everything you can need. I can get you over the authorization letter. I can get you over the W-9 COI, and we do have a factoring company, so I can get you the NOA as well.
Perfect.
Just shoot me an email. I need you. Just shoot me an email. Shoot me an email, and I can reply with all those documents and everything to your email. Do you have my email address?
No, I don't. Would you please spell it for me?
S is in Sam, WELLS at Ellick, ELLICK logistics.com. So that's Swells, SWELLS at ellicklogistics.com.
I got you. And sir, one more thing. Would you please let me know which rate per mile are you running your trucks right now?
I'm not concentrating on a rate per mile. It just depends on the load. I just don't want crap loads. Whatever the industry, you look at the trends. Whatever the industry is, we try to stay above that, above and aboard that. We do deal with a lot of companies. We're set up with a lot of brokers already. CH Robinson, RXO. We do not do TQL. We don't pull anything for them. But we have several, probably 70 or 80 brokers that we're already set up with ourselves.
Got it. Okay, sir. I am gonna send you my email. You can just send me your document. And as my guy also told you, there will be not any contract between us. So if we will book any load, if you like any load, like in the morning, we will give you some option. If you like, you will do a load with us. Then we will charge the invoice. Otherwise, there will be no fee, no upfront payment, or nothing like that.
Oh, I know that.
And one more thing, from this market, Atlanta, Georgia, we know this market from here going in Maryland, Illinois, like Michigan, or going in any states close by, or if we can go to Utah, we can easily get around $3, 3.7, 3.8, something like that.
Okay.
And for coming back, we can give you also like that. Never send you in the bad market, so your truck will never stuck in anywhere.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you an email and about what document should I need. I just need you to send me those documents. So I will make your profile, and a dispatcher will continuously gonna start working for your trucks.
Okay. Like I said, I'm in the middle of doing something right now, so you guys don't call me 1,000 times if you don't receive the documents right away. Okay. Give me time to get them over to you by the close of business today. I'll get you everything you need, and then we can just go from there. And I communicate mainly through text message. I don't, not a lot of phone calls, not a lot of emails. Text message is the main way we communicate.
I understand. No issue, sir. You won't get any problem from us.
Okay.
All right. See you.
Okay. Who am I talking to again?
This is William.
William. What's your last name?
Yeah. William Jack.
Okay. William Jack. Okay. Again, my name is Stan. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I'll get you over those documents, man, as soon as I can. Okay.
Same from here. All right. Thank you so much.
Bye. Okay. So what that was, that's a external dispatcher. That's a dispatching company that wants to contract with us, that wants to actually dispatch for us. So that's how you make. That's one way you make money, and I'll go into that deeper and explain to you how. But we have several dispatchers. If you'll go on our website, theperfectdispatcher.com, you'll notice that we have several dispatchers that dispatch for us. And we also have our internal team. So that way we're not missing anything. We're not missing any loads out there. We don't just depend on load boards. We depend on external dispatchers that contract with our company to actually make sure that we're not missing any loads out there. And sometimes they have connections with different shippers and things like that that we don't have. So that's one good thing about drivers dealing with the perfect dispatcher. which is sponsored by Elic Logistics. They're one of our big primary sponsors. And I want to give a shout out to Elic Logistics for backing us and for helping us have the resources that we need in order to take care of our dispatchers and drivers that are out there on the road. But we built up such a large network of dispatchers, external dispatchers, and brokers to where we're able to accommodate these drivers and give them several different load options. And that's very important. Um, the more options a driver has, the more they can make informed choices that fits their either their schedule or their finances, and that's very important. Okay, so how can you make money in dispatching? So let's go back to that. There's two ways. You can either take the certification that you would get with our company, and you could apply for different dispatching jobs. We actually would help you build up a resume and things like that based on the certification that you received, and we could help you pitch these to the different companies that are hiring for dispatchers. Companies are hiring for dispatchers every day of the week by the thousands, okay? And it's not just for truck dispatching. It can be for a number of things. A lot of emergency type companies are privately owned, and so they have their dispatchers. Pest control companies, they have their dispatchers. Almost anything that has a large number of drivers has some type of dispatching system where they're able to route their drivers, plan them out, and make sure their drivers get from one job to the next. So that's not just limited, guys, to the trucking industry. It goes um, it goes well beyond that. Um, I got you. You say you want to be a dispatcher. Okay, not a problem. We offer a class. Right now, we're running a special on our class. And here's what makes our class different that you won't find anyone else doing. Okay, guys? What makes our class different is we don't just give you videos, we don't give you PDFs. We give you a live instructor that goes through each and every training module with you. And there's a lot. There's a lot of training modules. I think there's right around 28 to 29 because we have stuffed them with everything that you should face or that you will get introduced to as being a dispatcher. Now, dispatching is just like a lot of other jobs. You learn it on the fly. But once you become seasoned at it, oh my God, it's like riding a bicycle. You know it like the back of your hand. So becoming a dispatcher, your training is very important. Your initial getting the fundamentals down, learning that what it means by the hours of service, uh, understanding BOLs, PODs, which is bills of ladings, and proof of delivery. All of those things are essential to the financial health of the driver, knowing how to navigate through these things and knowing what's a good load and what's not a good load. Because you may book a load for a driver that's paying $6,000, and you'll be like, man, that's going to take care of my driver, man, he's going to make all this money, but he may spend 3,000, 3,500 in fuel. So you've got to understand all of these things, and you got to know what tools to use in order to be able to know what's a good load and what's not a good load. So all of these things, guys, we provide for you in our training. And like I was saying, if generally I don't teach the classes too much, but I get involved in the classes at some point or another. I usually follow up and ask you, do you have any questions? I'll usually jump in. Yeah, my trainers don't know it sometimes, but all of a sudden I'll jump in with them, and I'll make sure to see if you guys have any questions. See, just generally, are you understanding the materials? Because it is a lot of materials. Understanding the different types of authority. What's the difference between a carrier authority and a broker's authority? What's the limits of the things you can do as a dispatcher? That's very important because you always want to follow FMCSA regulations. So the logistics industry and the trucking industry is regulated, heavily regulated. So you always want to make sure that you're putting your driver in a position to succeed. All of those things are very important. Um, Understanding gross vehicle weight, understanding how to properly secure loads, understanding uh, how to book loads where your driver is, where you put your driver in a position to succeed, making sure he can finish one load and get to the next load on time. That is very important that you understand how to do all these things, and most of all, how to look for loads. Okay, how to look for loads. Now, one thing about the perfect dispatcher, one thing about signing on with us, taking our class, and then coming on board with us is that um, you're able to have a whole network of dispatchers behind you. So you're not doing it by yourself. You have a whole team behind you. You have us that can help you with the billing, with the invoicing, with the different things like that. We have all the TMS tools and capability to help handle your invoicing and things like that, where you're able to make money. Um, and we also train you how to do it, where if you decide you want to do it, you can do it on your own. But one of the main ways that you're able to make money by being a dispatcher is this. Let me show you. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Um, and to answer your question, is this a paid course? Yes, this is a paid course. So what this is, we offer a 20-hour live online dispatching class, and usually it's $149 for the 20-hour class. But you can go to theperfectdispatcher.com. You can put in this coupon code, and you'll be able to get the class because of this, because of one of our sponsors, Elik Logistics. You'll be able to get the dispatching class for $49.95 today by using this coupon code. And then what we'll do, if you go to theperfectdispatcher.com, we'll you'll kind of see what our class schedule is like. We have evening classes available. We have day classes available. It's whatever would fit your schedule. And then from there, you would be able to get your training and get connected with a live instructor that would be able to help facilitate your training. And most of the time, you're in a group setting. It's not you by yourself. So you would come on board with a group of dispatcher with potential students, and that's kind of like a classroom feeling, to be honest with you. So you're able to ask questions, you're able to hear other people ask questions and things like that. So that's the one of the benefits of um, dealing with our particular company, the Perfect Dispatcher. So what are some of the things you will learn in the 20-hour course? Okay, so let's take a look at some of the things that you will learn in the 20-hour course. Okay, I'm going to try to share my screen with you. Let's see. Let me see here. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to try to share my screen with you. Give me an error message for some reason. Okay, there it is. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen right now. Okay, let me take a look to make sure you can. And I hope all you guys are having a pretty good day. My day so far has been okay, I guess. So let's see. Make sure you're looking. I'll make sure you're able to see. Okay, let's see. Doesn't look like you're seeing my screen. Let's see. Let's see if you're able to see it now. Give me 1 second, guys. I want to try to share my screen with you, and I want to make sure. There we go. Okay. All right. Now I know that you can see it. Okay. So if you'll go, and what I am, I'm on our website called theperfectdispatcher.com. Okay. So on this particular site, I will give you an idea of the types of things you will come to learn with our classes. Okay. First of all, we give you the introduction to truck dispatching and show you how you, or tell you how you can make a minimum. I'm just going to say an average number of 68,000 as a truck dispatcher. That is not, and I did not give you a large number. I gave you a number based on the volume that we do personally and how you can make that much. So you'll go through the different types of modules. You will learn how the two different types of authority, how they operate, and what are the limitations of those different types of authority. Okay. You'll understand the different types of trucks and trailers out there that you will be responsible for dispatching. Um, you will learn billing accessorials, how you have the different things that the different drivers have to have sometimes to complete loads that the brokers are requiring. Sometimes they require that you have certain straps, load levelers, dunnage, uh, different things like that, load bars, racks, and things of that nature. So you have to understand how to look for those things in the rate confirmations, or if 9 times out of 10 the broker will tell you, hey, you need 10 straps for this load, you need dunnage for this particular load, so that you can keep your driver equipped. The worst thing in the world is that in a rate confirmation, you're told that you need 10 straps and you do not relay that information to the driver. He gets there and he's unable to pick up that load because he doesn't have the necessary tools and things to be able to pick up the load. The hours of service, that is very important. That is a kind of a time consuming part of your training, how to understand HOS, hours of service. We call it HOS in short. To understand that takes a little time, but by the time you get through, you'll completely understand how hours of service affects the driver and the different types of loads that you can and cannot book. Okay. Using load boards, how to be able to navigate around load boards, and the functionality of the different load boards. So you learn how to do that. If every load board generally has the same type of information, but the navigation of them are different. For instance, a lot of dispatchers use um, I'm sorry, guys. How may I help you? I'm good. How are you? Could you repeat that? I'm sorry.
So, we are trying to move some load across the state, so may I get to know your box truck is ready for load for today or tomorrow?
Okay, so if you're asking questions like this of me, that means you're not currently onboarded with us as a dispatcher, correct?
Sir, you already on board with our company.
Okay, so
And
you're already onboarded with us. You're just trying to see if we have any trucks available for you.
yeah, we just need your zip code.
What's the name of your company?
Yeah, my company name is Berg International LLC.
And you're sure we're currently onboarded with you? I don't know of a company called Burke.
Sorry?
And you're sure you're currently onboarded with us right now?
Because we're not checking for your documents because you know very well market is full of scams. So there are many people that asking for your documents like your MC, your W9 form, your COI, and your nurse assignment.
Do you currently have our documents?
Yes, sir.
So you have everything from us. You have the MC letter, you have the COI, you have the NOA, you have our W9, you got our banking information. So you currently have everything, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Just need your zip code.
Okay. Not a problem. Give me
Whenever you need.
Okay, give me a minute. I'm in the middle of doing a training class, and I'll get you some zip codes and availability of the different trucks. Okay.
Okay, I just send you a text message.
Okay. Send me a text message and do me a favor. Also send me your company name, your contact phone number, and your email address. Okay.
Okay. And what's your good name? Your name is Stanley.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Stanley, I just given you a text message.
Okay. Not a problem, man. I'll get back with you as soon as I can. Give me some time now. If I don't get back with you, just give me time.
Okay.
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 Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Bye. See, that's the advantage of dealing with us. We have people every day that call that try to actually join our network of dispatchers. And I'm going to later on tell you how that benefits you as a dispatcher as well. How all of that, how the network of dispatchers and brokers that we have built um, benefits you. But first of all, let me show you what you'll receive in the course of your training. Okay. So understanding load boards, there's like 2 modules on that. We spend a lot of time on the different types of load boards. Truck stop is one of the main load boards that's used in the industry. DAT is another board. We also show you how to operate some of the broker boards that we use, such as CH Robinson, RXO, things of that nature. Uh, we show you how to navigate around those load boards. Generally, the same type of information is there. It's just in different spots on different boards. So most of us, once we become satisfied with a particular load board, we like to stick to that load board. But I advise you not to be like that because a lot of the broker boards, a lot of times, are quicker. A lot of the broker boards have better options sometimes than the load boards that are out there. Okay, so that's what you'll get in module 1 through 7. And let me give you an idea of what we go over in module 8 through 15. Now you actually go over these modules with a live instructor. Okay, so you're not just here watching videos. The instructor goes through each and every video with you, does a question and answer session to make sure you understand the information. Okay, hold on. Let me reply back to this person. They're trying to actually join in on. I'm trying to let this particular person they're interested in getting the class, let them know how to. Okay, so TWIC card. Uh, what is a TWIC card? That's explained in module 8, how it benefits the driver and what you're able to do as a dispatcher if your driver has a TWIC card. What are hazmat loads? Hauling oversized loads and permits. This particular module takes a little time because it There's different laws in different states. The permitting is different state by state. So this takes a little time to go through this just so you get an overall kind of view of what is how you go about getting permits, who needs permits, what are the different height requirements and things like that, because that differs sometimes per state, not necessarily per state, but per area of the country. Okay. What is a rate confirmation? We spend a lot of time there trying to understand what a rate confirmation is, how to read one, and how to navigate around it to make sure that you're putting your driver in the best possible position, okay, for that load. What is a carrier setup packet? This is a particular session module that will spend a lot of time going over how to fill out carrier packets. And as a dispatcher, this is something that you will do almost on a daily basis. You will have to learn how to fill out carrier packets. But one good thing about it, a lot of this stuff is automated nowadays. And a lot of companies use the same company to send out their carrier packets. A lot of brokers use Highway, so we fill out Highway packets every day as a dispatcher. And Highway can be a little frustrating sometimes, but it's the safeguards that they have in place are just totally awesome. Um, so we spend a lot of time on carrier packets, how to fill them out. So what it is, a lot of times you don't just see a load on a board that a broker has and you want that load and they give it to you. It doesn't work like that. You have to have a signed agreement with this broker. So there's hundreds, there's thousands of brokers out there. So as a dispatcher, you're constantly on a daily basis filling out carrier packets. We teach you what to look for in those carrier packets and how to properly fill this information out. Okay, that's a very important section. What are BOLs and PODs? BOLs, bills of ladings. PODs, proof of deliveries. You will deal with these things on a daily basis with your drivers, uh, making sure that the information on the BOL or PODs are filled out correctly in order for you, the broker, and the driver to get paid. Okay. How to bill additional charges. We show you things that are billable, such as when a driver gets there and the load is not ready, or a driver agrees to a load and all of a sudden you get a phone call saying, oh, and the driver started out to pick up the load. And then you get a phone call saying, oh, well, there's been an issue, the load has been canceled. So that driver still needs to be compensated for that. So we teach you how to bill additional charges and things like that, and what qualifies as an additional charge. Invoicing and factoring is very important. Typically, most drivers have a factoring company. And when they come on board with us and we do the dispatching, we provide a factoring company for them. The advantage of having a factoring company is sometimes the driver gets paid the same day, which is a beautiful thing. We use a company where the driver, if he gets that invoicing in early, maybe before 1 o'clock, typically he's paid the same day. And drivers love that. And they're paid right after every load. They love the constant cash flow where they're able to kind of never run out of money, so to speak. Sometimes it's hard waiting a week or 2 weeks to get paid as a driver, and sometimes it's okay for some drivers. Me, when I was out there as a driver, I usually got paid on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Every time I would finish a load on Monday, I'd get my bills in, I get paid that same day for that load. I pick up another load, I drive, I deliver that load Wednesday. I get my invoicing in, my PODs in, I get paid Wednesday for that load. Pick up another load, deliver Friday. And that gave me a constant cash flow as a driver. I got paid on Mondays, I got paid on Wednesdays, I got paid on Fridays. So anytime a bill came up, I was prepared for it. Or if I blew money on a particular item, spent too much money here, I knew I could make it up Wednesday because I'd be getting paid consistently like that. And as a dispatcher, you will get paid consistently like that. So you typically how this works, once a driver completes his load, that driver is supposed to pay you for that load. That's how that works. Okay. So invoicing and factoring is very important. We want to set the driver up in the best possible position to succeed. So that is very, very important in this process. In module 16 through 29, you will talk about how to start your own dispatch company. Now we concentrate on the dispatch, and we do not concentrate on the freight brokerage part. We do have a partner company that's trained to teach people how to become a broker, but we concentrate on the dispatching part. So module 16 um, is something that we'll go over and talk about how to start your dispatching company. Finding the shippers. That's generally something that the broker has to worry about. The dispatchers generally need to find drivers. Finding the shippers and developing that type of relationship is generally for the brokers. Uh, Now, sometimes you as dispatchers, you can try to connect your drivers directly up to the shippers. That's good as well. We do that as well. But generally, that particular module is uh, talking to the brokers. Getting through the gatekeeper, that's something that is generally for the brokers. CMV, gross vehicle weight. This is a very important section that we'll spend a little bit of time on trying to understand gross vehicle weight, because that affects the loads that you can book and the loads you cannot book for your driver. Okay. There again, the driver has a lot of regulations and things they have to abide by while they're out there on the road. So you've got to understand this as you're booking loads for your drivers. Okay. Overcoming shipper objections, that's primarily for brokers. Communicating with shippers, this is very important because as a dispatcher, you will have constant communication that you'll have to do with shippers, receivers, and brokers. Okay, so this teaches you how to communicate with shippers. Shippers are generally busy, they generally get a large influx of calls. So you want to be prepared, you want to know what you need to do and say when you're calling the shipper so that you don't tie them up for an unnecessary amount of time. How to find trucks. This is a very good section. It tells you how to increase your network of drivers, which is very important. Okay, types of lanes and bids. We teach you the different type of lanes out there, what you can bid on, where you should be at, and how you go about the bid process and things like that. How to find a lane and see if it's beneficial for you. Because everything that looks good, trust me, in this industry, everything that looks good is not necessarily good. Okay. So as we move further along, the different type of broker packets. So we talk about this. A lot of brokers go through what's called highway, which is a major company that a lot of brokers use because of the safeguards that they have in place. This is an industry that's full of a lot of fraud. Um, so I've had to use highway several times to, not several times, but a few times to protect Ellick Logistics MC number, because there are different carriers, there are different dispatchers out there that will try to book loads using different companies' MC numbers, and that is illegal. So a lot of brokers go through a company called Highway. A lot of brokers go through My Carrier Packet. So you'll deal with those uh, particular entities quite a bit on a daily basis. What is double brokering? This is a big problem in our industry. Um, so we break this down. We try to show you what double brokering looks like, how to avoid it, and how to see the signs of a company that is trying to get you to move a load under fictitious circumstances. So we try to help you identify these things in the rate con, identify these things in the questions that you should be asking, and things of that nature. Like I said, a lot of times you've heard, if you were able to hear the few phone calls that I've had, and those were foreigners, those were people with accents. So typically that's a red flag now in this industry because that's where a lot of the fraud comes from: Pakistan, Afghanistan, India, different places like that. So you have to do your due diligence and you put your safeguards in place. And that's where we, the perfect dispatcher, come in. We have a whole network to vet our dispatchers and make sure that they're quality dispatchers that should be doing this business. Invoice submitting, module 26. That's very important. It's really easy to submit. All this stuff may seem overwhelming, but you really have tools in place that does all of this. Your TMS system should be able to handle all this with a few clicks of a button, and boom, you're done. The days of doing all this stuff manually, guys, are over. So a lot of this stuff is done through automated systems. You just have to put in the document, and it basically does each step for you from that point on. Okay, and we help you with that. Starting your own brokerage, that's something that we don't actually go over. We just stick to dispatching. DOT inspections explained. Now, this is very important to understand what a driver goes through when they have a DOT inspection. Okay. So this is very important to understand that, to understand weight capacities, to understand the different regulations and rules out there that are in place by the FMCSA and that is enforced by the DOT. Okay. Way stations, how a way station affects what is a way station, how it affects the driver, how it affects you as a dispatcher. So that's another very important thing about the industry that this particular class breaks down, because we don't want you to know just the things that pertain to you. We want you to know the things that also pertain to the driver that is out there. Okay, so that's what you guys will be learning in the different modules, and you have a live instructor such as myself, and most of these modules were designed by me, and the different things that I know as a driver and as a dispatcher, also the different rules and regulations, all of that was uh, in mind when this particular um, class was formed. We put a lot of thought, a lot of effort, a lot of energy into the things that would make you become the perfect dispatcher. Okay, um, and that's all what it's about: putting you in the position for success and being able to succeed. Okay, that's what it's about. This class, and this is a continual partnership that we have. We have a whole office of staff that are here to assist you with any and every type of situation that you would possibly have. We handle your invoicing for you. We handle your billing for you and things of that nature. Your routing, your things like that. So, and now, how can this lead to a career and good business opportunity? Okay, this is the way dispatching normally works. Okay, let me try to let you see a rate confirmation. Let's see if I can get a rate confirmation up here. Let me try that you can understand. So I can let you see. Let's, let's, let's try to go through a rate confirmation. I'm trying to get it to where I can make sure you can see it. let me see if you guys can see this. I'll make sure you can see it. So this so far. Let's see. Okay. Let me see, guys. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Okay. So, let me see if you can see this now. I'm going to try to enlarge it a little bit. Okay. Give me 1 second, guys. This is actually what's called a rate confirmation, okay? I just want to make sure, give me a second, I want to make sure it's where you can see it. Okay, awesome. Okay, this is what's called a rate confirmation. Okay. And I hope you guys can see this. Let me try to make it as big as I possibly can. So this is actually one of the brokers that we're connected with, Nolan Transportation Group. Okay. So in a rate confirmation, we teach you how to read these. And sometimes you'll get driver's loads that you don't particularly like, but they want it because it fits their particular circumstances of what they're trying to do. For instance, you may get a load that's not your driver's rate per mile and that you're not comfortable with because of the rate. The weight might be good, things of that nature, but you don't like the rate per mile. Well, your driver may want that load because he may be trying to get to that specific place. He may need to get to a daughter's graduation, or he's trying to get to a relative that lives in that particular state. So the driver, you pitch it to him, say, hey man, I do not like this load. It's only paying X amount of dollars, but it will get you to the location you're trying to get to. I want to keep looking. What do you want to do? You give your driver options sometimes. That way, they're basically helping you make certain type of decisions, especially if it's not a decision you really like, but it fits your driver's circumstances. Okay. So this is what's called a rate confirmation. Usually you will have a load number or an identifying reference number that the broker uses to identify this particular load. Okay. And usually it will have the broker information, and their phone number and things of that nature. Nolan, I like them because they put a little bit more information into their rate confirmation. So the more information you have, sometimes the better. This one was for a 26-foot box truck. We don't usually we don't operate with the 24-foot at all. Just a little bit of information if any of my trucker friends are out there listening, or someone that's thinking about getting a box truck, make sure you get a 26-foot box truck with a lift gate, okay, with a 5,000-pound capacity on that lift gate, and get you a pallet jack, okay. But usually you'll have the weight up here, the reference number, and things of that nature, where the load picks up, where it's going to deliver, the ship date, any special instructions. See, these are things you want to communicate with the driver, where it says instructions. Freight will be available after 1500. Um, I must have all paperwork printed and in hand at shippers. Must confirm piece count. See, all of this stuff, you want to make sure you understand so that you can properly relay this back to the driver and don't put him in a bad situation where he has to waste time um, due to a lack of information. Um, so we booked this load on behalf of our sponsor company, one of our partners, Ellic Logistics. And generally, the carrier information is important. This helps you identify different things, whether it's double brokering, whether it's fraud involved. This helps you identify things on the rate confirmation. So we need to show you what to look for. We teach you what to look for and how to identify different things on the rate confirmation. And this is kind of an example, guys, of what a rate confirmation looks like. Um, let's see if I can help find another one. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. This was a pretty. Okay. And see, we bid on loads a lot. We bid on different loads a lot, and sometimes, like a load may come to us, it will be a certain amount. We'll come back with a counter offer, and most of the time, that counter offer is accepted. But I was trying to give you another example of different rate confirmations. Let's see here. One from Salt Lake City to Jacksonville. There's so many. Let's see. Let me go to this one. Uh, there's a lot of them. Let's see. I was trying to give you some that were easier to kind of understand. Let's see. Okay, I'll go back to that. I'll find some and I'll go back to it. But those are the different things that we teach you in the dispatching course how to identify. Okay, so it's very important that you, as a dispatcher, put yourself in the proper position to succeed. Okay, that's very, very important. Your training is very, very important. So what we do As we offer our training class, we train you with a live instructor, and we give you you get a certificate at the end of the training class that shows what you're now capable and what your understanding in truck dispatching actually is. Okay, so I give you an example. This is, and we have different types of classes. Okay, we also one of our partner companies is an ELDT course provider. So that stands for entry level driver training. So we also train drivers how to get their CDL. Okay, so there's different things that we're connected with different partner companies. Uh, we're an ELIC ELIC Logistics Professional Corporation actually is an ELDT provider that is registered with the FMCSA. So we bring a lot of knowledge to this industry. We bring a lot of tools and a lot of partnerships and a lot of resources into uh, the dispatching course, which is only to your benefit. So this particular student here, which she actually was a student, we trained her. She went through our course. She was a star, and now she's actually one of our instructors. She's been with us for a very, very long time. She's very good at teaching the material and making sure that the students understand what they are actually seeing, the information they're going through. So this particular certificate breaks down what this individual actually is proficient at. So it says for successfully this certificate of course completion, um, which lists the DOT number and the MC number of the company, which is very important. It's very important that a someone that you take your certificate to is able to research the company that gave you the certificate, is able to research and find out if this is a legitimate company or not. That's very important. All of this adds to your cachet. You put all this in your resume. You produce this certificate. That's if you want to go get a dispatching job with a company. So, for successfully passing the ELDT course mandated by the FMCSA to obtain a commercial driver's license. Why was that important? You might say to yourself, this has absolutely nothing to do with me being a dispatcher. Having to know how to drive a semi truck and what to do has nothing to do with me dispatching. You're right. But what that taking that particular course does, you begin to understand what a truck driver has to do on a daily basis and the things required of the truck driver. So think about it. If you know and understand what a truck driver's job is and what they have to do on a daily basis, won't that help you be able to dispatch them better with more knowledge, understanding what they have to do, understanding the hours of service, understanding how their schedule is, understanding how they have to maintain their equipment and what is required of them? That only makes it to where the more you understand them, the better position you can put them in. Okay, so that's why that course is was we kind of recommend taking that course as well. It's not mandated, it's not a requirement, but that's something that also is beneficial. Okay. Um, so, and completion of the ELIC Logistics, this was an 80-hour course, 80-hour dispatch training course, and is deemed proficient in the areas of route optimization and planning, load board navigation and operations, rate confirmations and negotiations, use and knowledge of ITS and TMS, CRM automated and manual dialing systems management. Because, guys, most of the time, and we have it here, the way these dispatching companies operate, they don't usually pick up a phone like what I have over there, or think or use a cell phone to operate with. They usually have dialing systems and dialers, and so automatic information populates up. Once they get a phone call through the computer system, it's all the information populates, and so that because they're getting calls like this back to back, back to back, so they usually don't pick up phones like what we have and things like that. They usually use a dialer system. Okay, so understanding that, understanding how to use that, and the information that populates up in them, and how to put the proper information into the dialer is very important, and it puts you well ahead of the game. Okay, so this is kind of like what the certificate looks like when you take our course, and you're able to use that, put that on your resume, and then it's an awesome, awesome thing that puts you ahead of the everyday Joe that's out there applying for uh, a dispatching position. Okay. Okay, guys. But in a nutshell, that's what's offered in our dispatch class. Usually the schedule, now this is how it operates. Let me try to share my screen with you. Um, let's see. Let me try to, uh, okay. Let me give you an idea of what the schedule is like. Okay. So this will give you an idea of what the evening shift schedule is like. We have evening and we have weekend classes and we have day classes. So there's a lot of options available for you. Um, we have instructors that are able to teach on, because we know a lot of you would need this different certification and training around your present employment. So our evening classes usually starts on from 7 to 10 during the weekdays. I think, and on Saturday from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sunday from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And we did this. We tried to arrange the schedule where on Sundays, those of you that go to church, you were able to go to church and then get back home and kind of spend a little time with your family and then get into your training, get it over with, and then get back to your family schedule. So we try to design our evening classes um, around things like this. Okay, so usually the evening classes start on Monday from 7 to 10. And this is every Monday. That's the good thing about it. So if you get the evening and the weekend, if you get the evening classes, okay, every Monday it teaches the same thing. It's a continual repetitive thing. So every Monday is the introduction to truck dispatching and logistics and the logistics industry. So if you miss one class one Monday, you can make up that class the following Monday. You see how we tried to make this very convenient for you. On Tuesdays, we go through modules 1 through 5, truck operations and FMCSA fundamentals. So every Tuesday, that's the course, that's the class. If you can't make it on the 14th, you're able to do it on the following Tuesday, okay? On Wednesdays, load board and navigation operations, okay? So that's from 7 to 10. And in this introduction to load boards, understanding the features and navigation, creating and managing load searches, searching by equipment type, location, and destination. I told you guys, when you're using the load boards, there's a lot of different functions and things like that that you have to kind of gain a knowledge base of. Evaluating load details, let's see, understanding load rates and market conditions is very important. Um, Selecting profitable loads, reading pickup and delivery requirements, verifying broker information, saving and organizing preferred loads, best practices for finding consistent freight, avoid common load board mistakes, live demonstration, hands-on practice. Okay, So that's some of the things that you will go through on Wednesday's class. That class is every Wednesday. Every Thursday, we have modules 8 through 12, specialized freight compliance, documents, and carrier onboarding. So that's every Thursday on that class. Modules 13 through 23 is every Friday, advanced dispatching, carrier relations, and business development. Okay, so let's see. Uh, so as you can see, this is every Saturday, same class. Every Sunday, same class. And we designed it that way just in case you did not make a class one day, then you're not totally lost. Okay. You can make up that class the following week, and that way you can retain all the information and be prepared. And plus, guys, once you're through with the class, you're always one of us. You're always with us. So anytime you have a question, anytime you're trying to get something done, you actually have options to become one of our affiliate dispatchers. And at that point, we're basically holding your hand and doing everything with you. So how can I make money at this as a dispatcher? How can I make money doing this? Hold on, guys. So you ask yourself, how can I make money doing this? Generally, what we charge across the board, if you're a, is 10%. That's 10% across the board for dispatching. Okay. And because we have extra resources and things like that, we're able to keep it at 10% and um, not necessarily have to increase that cost. So again, here's I'm showing you the different classes and things like that of the different types of if you look on board, it'll show you the different types of classes when they're available and things like that, and the class schedules. So if you make if 10%, this is there's different ways you can make revenue. You go work for a company, make an hourly wage between $21 and $32 an hour. Okay, for some that's good. For me, that's horrible. I never would want to work for a particular amount per hour. Not me, not at my level in life, because I understand that if I make $21 an hour, that's all somebody is saying that I'm worth. That's all you're saying that you're going to give me. But I'd rather make a piece of every load that I book. So here's where the interesting thing comes in. So you'll get a percent of every load, right? Say, for instance, let's do some math here. Okay. So if the average driver, and it depends on whether you're booking semi trucks, box trucks, semi trucks is your better. And I'm gonna give you numbers that we do. Okay. I can't speak for anyone else, and somebody's gonna say these numbers are outrageous. I don't care. I just know what we do. You know, uh, they're gonna be like, no, a driver don't make that much. Okay, you don't make that much, um, or your dispatcher doesn't get you that much. But for instance, uh, last week I booked my driver a load for $5,500, and then another load I booked that now that load was picking up in Alpharetta, Georgia, and that load was going to Salt Lake City, Utah. Okay, so that load we booked it for that driver at 5,500 for that load. Okay, so, and we booked him a load coming back for 5,000. Okay, And well, that load subsequently got canceled. We had to book him another load that was a little less. It was 4,900. But for the sake of the math, let's do the original bookings. So that was 10,500 in loads that we booked for that driver for that week. Okay. Now, here's where it gets interesting at and how you make money as a district. This is one truck. One truck did that revenue. Okay. We try to get you to where you have at least 5 trucks. Okay. We try to get you where you have at least 5 drivers. That's kind of a sweet spot as a beginning dispatcher, as a one person where you want to be. I would not take on more than 5 trucks if I'm just one individual. Okay. I just wouldn't. There's you won't have any hair left. Okay. Now, if you want to do all the work by yourself as a dispatcher, you want to find the loads, you want to book the loads. If you want to do everything by yourself because you want all the money, that one driver netted my company $1,050 for that week. That one truck. Okay. Now, are you starting to understand how you make money as a dispatcher? That's what we got paid. So we booked the loads. We booked the loads for the driver, 2 loads that amounted to 10,500. We charged 10%. Now you got a lot of companies charging less. We have a lot of companies that we contract with that we pay less. But we are a professional established company here in the US, and we provide the service that we provide is outstanding. We have load boards, we have TMS system, we do routing, we do all of that. So we can't run around here and charge 5%, 4%, 3%, 2% because our overhead is high. We have a whole team out here on this floor that is responsible for doing things. So our overhead is high. So we charge each driver 10%. And our drivers gladly pay us the 10% because we keep them moving and we give them several load options. If they tell us they need to go here, we try to get them there. If they tell us this, we try to do this. We try our best to work with our drivers in the best way possible to give them the best situation to succeed. So think about it. That's one truck that would bring you $1,050 if you wanted to do all of that. Now you're supposed to have 5 trucks, right? So that gives you how much in a week? 5,250 for one week, right? Right. Do the math. So now do you see why a lot of foreign entities are trying to get into this? They see that. They see a way to do this. And they see with training, hey, I can do this, So that is why this is the type of money that can be made in dispatching. Now, if you've got 5 trucks and you're averaging 10.5, which you won't average 10.5 to start, you won't do that, but you can at least expect to drop that by $1,000. You can at least expect to do 4,000 in a week as a skilled dispatcher. You really could. Now, here's the caveat. Here's the kicker. Do you want to do the work of finding the loads, or do you want to let someone else do it? If you want to do everything yourself, 5,250 is what you would have made for 5 drivers at that average. But if you say, hey, no, I just want to be like the middleman, I want to be the person that, is the go-between between drivers and contractors and things like that, you would make half of that in a week. So divide that by 2, right? It'll still give you $2,625 for the week, and you did hardly absolutely nothing. You had other people finding the loads. You had other people sending you load options. Okay, so this is the type of money that's made in this industry. And I'm telling you, I'm in it for a reason. I don't touch nothing. I don't touch anything unless it's potential revenue involved in logistics because I know the industry too well. And this is where the money's at, okay? This is where it's at. You would make Just say, for instance, you make 5% of the load, okay? Say, for instance, you got 5 trucks, and let's do low numbers, okay? Each one of your, and for truck drivers out here that own their own trucks, to some of them, 10,500 is a high number. That's because they're not getting dispatched right. Um, but that's just an average number. My driver was able to do that and not stress, not push, not have to, do crazy stuff, not violate any hours of service or anything like that. Okay. And we were able to fit him a 34 in there in between and not affect his uh, ability to book additional loads. So let's just say your average truck is 7,500 a week. You got 5 of those. So you do, for 5 trucks, you do 37,500 in loads for the week, right? And let's say your share is 5%. That gives you $1,875 for that week. And that's what you doing minimal work now. That's what you're doing minimal work. What you have done, you have maybe set up and help set up your network of drivers. You turn those drivers over to us. Those are your drivers. You turn those drivers over to the perfect dispatcher. We provide the loads through our network system. You get paid. You see what I mean about how the good old boy system works and how sometimes we're late to the party or we're the last one to understand and know how to do something. People are in this industry for a reason, guys. There's money in it. You just have to know where it's at and how to get it. Okay. So, what basically happens here is you sign on, you take the course, you become one of our external dispatchers if you choose to. We have a whole team of external dispatchers. You help get your network of drivers, right? 5 drivers is all you really need to allow you to dispatch for them. Out of the millions of truck drivers out there, you just need 5. If you've got 5, you should be able to generate 2,000 a week and not do the work and not have to look for the loads. I don't do it. Me personally, here in my company that I have helped build from the ground up, I hardly ever look for a single load. I look for loads just to know what's out there, just so I'm always knowing where the industry's at. I don't look for loads to give to my drivers. I have other people do that for me. I've built up an entire network. They call me, they message me, and I don't have to worry about it. I don't get a larger percentage, but I don't care. I don't have to do the hard work. I don't have to do the heavy lifting. Someone else does that for me, and I make money off of their efforts and their work. And that's how the world works, man. That when you work on a job and you work for an employer, they're making thousands. If they're able to pay you $21 an hour, guess how much they're making off of your work, off of your labor. So knowing what I know about how business works, I never want to be in that position where I'm that type of slave. To me, it's slavery. You're only going to pay me $21 an hour, but you're making thousands off of me. That doesn't work for me. Let me make money based on what I can produce. Let me make my own money, um, and set my own standards. If I want to raise, I just go get me another driver and add him to my book. If I got, and then sometimes you might have to bring on extra people. Okay. Once you get to 5 drivers, you can handle that. Once you get to number 6, bring on you another person, hire somebody to help you. And then you keep going. You can get 10 drivers, 20 drivers, 30 drivers. Do you see how that thing works? And before you know it, your revenue is off the chart. So when I put in a number and I said you can make 68,000 a year dispatching, I gave you a realistic look. To me, it's low. It's a lowball number. I gave you a lowball number of what you could actually make. The key is getting to 5 trucks. And the key is whether you want to do all the work. You can't do all the work and maintain 5 trucks. You can't. There's too much to do. So you need to be concerned about the billing and different things like that. So getting the invoices in, getting making sure the driver gets paid, making sure you get paid, different things like that. So my recommendation to all my new onboarded affiliates is okay, go with a certain percentage, make money, let other people do the hard work for you, the heavy lifting for you. Okay, so that's what we recommend. Um, and one of our main partners, Elec Logistics Inc. The Perfect Dispatcher does all of their dispatching for their trucks. So that's one of the main partners that we have, and things like that. And then we dispatch for other companies and other drivers that keep us moving, that we keep moving. Um, and so that's how this business works, guys. So that's how you make money. You can either take the certificate that you get from us and add this to the resume and go look for you a dispatching job. We also recommend different dispatching jobs that are hiring. We know of different companies that are hiring in your area. We send you those leads and things like that. Or you can do this thing for yourself, you know, and make the most money. Some people need the job security. You know, some people need the security of knowing I'm making $21 an hour. Some people need the health insurance. Some people need, the benefits for their family, the dental, the vision and things like that. So I understand that as well. Um, and some people are at a point in their life, like they're retired from a previous job. They have other things in place. Now they're in a position where they can take a stab at this and try to do this on their own. So guys, go to theperfectdispatcher.com. The link is here at the bottom where it says theperfectdispatcher.com, today's featured products, and you'll put in coupon code perfect7926. That gives you actually, because when you first go into it, it's going to say 149 for the class, for the 20-hour class. You type that, you put in your coupon code, and actually, let me show you. Okay, let's see, let me show you. So let's go to, you will go to featured products, and we got a lot of featured products. We don't have many. I think we got like four for today. Oh, and these headsets, some of our sponsors will send us different things to try to promote their products. This particular headset right here, one of our sponsors sent me these to try it out to promote their product. It's called a K video headset, and the link to it to buy it is on our featured products. When I tell you this headset is better than a Bose, I am not lying. The bass, and they're not toys, they're not cheap. The bass in these things is mind blowing. It reminds me so much of a Bose system, but better. It's better than Beats, in my opinion. Now it's better than Beats, and I've had all type of headsets. I've had Beats, I've had JBL, I've had Philips, I've had Sony, because I used to sell things like this in the retail market. And when I tell you this is the best headset that I have ever had, like right here, here's the Beats, okay? And I've had the other type of Beats. This is the Beats Flex. I've had this one for years. This cannot be messed with. So if you look on one of our featured products, you'll see the K Video Bluetooth headset. It comes with and it has 65 hours of playtime. And so one of our sponsors has offered this to us to sponsor their product. It comes with a 3-year warranty. It's $65.99. I'm telling you, you will not find a better headset out there than this, and you'll thank me later. So you can go to the featured products and you can order that. In our featured products, we try to sell things that pertain to safety, that pertains to trucking and things like that. You'll find that in our featured products. For instance, a body camera. This is, and ladies, guys, we live in such a horrible, horrible world that something could happen to you at any place, at any time. Some idiot could put you in the most uncomfortable position, and you have to be able to prove that this happened, that happened, this was said, that wasn't said. Get your body camera. Get your body camera. This particular one by Boblo, it says this is a good body camera. So we put that in some our featured products because we feel that safety and things like that is important. GPS tracking for your vehicles. You know, people are always breaking in things. People are always stealing cars and motorbikes and things like that. This is a very good GPS tracking system that I have found that comes highly recommended in the industry. They have several reviews that are this is a good system and I highly recommend that. But in order to get, let's see, now this is you're in our featured products tab, okay? And this is based on the podcast special. So let me make sure that you can see this. Let me make sure. Okay, yeah, you can see it now. Okay. So like I was saying, this headset, this is the particular headset that the sponsor sent me. It folds. It has 65 hours. That's unbelievable. It has 65 hours of talk time. It charges with a USB, and also it has a head socket. I tried it, and I tell you, this is the best headset I think I've ever had. And I want to take a special thanks to the sponsor, K Video, for sending me this particular headset. It's unbelievable. They fold. There's, they're awesome, man. The bass in this, you'll thank me later. You won't believe it. You will not believe the bass level in that particular headset. When I tell you it's like it reminds me of Bose system, it reminds me of a Bose system. I think it's better personally. $65 comes with a 3-year warranty. Another one of our sponsors that helps promote us is the again I told you about the body camera with the audio. Now I don't know much about this. I'd be honest with you. They, wanted to become one of our sponsors. I don't know much about this body camera system, but they say it's actually, been recommended by law enforcement. This particular brand and model. So this one comes with night vision, and you can use it in your car. Then when you take it out your car, as you can see, you can clip it onto your body. Um, let's see if I got any pictures of it here. And see how it looks. That's how it looks, and it actually clips. That's how it looks when it's in the car. That's how it looks when it's on you. Okay. So even if you don't get this one, get something. I just try to get things that are highly recommended in the industry, top-notch things. This one is waterproof, um, and it has the HD 2K vision. It's not blurry, and things like that. So um, I try to, you know, when people want to become one of our sponsors, I try to make sure that I try to do my research on the product and make sure that we're just not putting our name behind anything. But anyway, guys, if you go to get the course, you'll click on the course that's 149. And then when you get there, now this is under the perfectdispatcher.com. It will tell you that the 20-hour work from home dispatcher course with online classroom training with live instructor is 149. Okay. And that's how much it normally is for the 20-hour course. Okay. So what you'll do is you'll add it to your cart, or you can buy now. If you add it to your cart, it will ask you, do you want to apply a coupon? Okay. So at the end, this is very important, or you won't get the savings. So do you have a coupon? You'll put in perfect, no capitals, just all lowercase, perfect 7926, and then push apply. and it will automatically give you your discount. See? Now it's saying it went from 149 with the coupon, it subtracted $100, and now you're 49.99, and you can check out right there. Okay, so let's clear the cart. Let's see. There we go. Now let's go to where it says get course today, so you can look at the different types of courses we have. The courses are different. The 20-hour course is 149. The 80-hour course is 399. That's way more in depth. And then the 120-hour course is 699, because that one comes with the EODT training. It comes with the live instructor. It comes with the laptop, headset. You get all of those things, and you get 2 seats. So that's good for 2 people. Say, for instance, you and your wife wanted to do it, or you and a friend wanted to do it, and y'all were going to open a business together, and you wanted all the materials to be able to just start. You wanted the laptop with the different downloads that you need and the tools on it. Then you would choose that option. The 20-hour work from home, then you would choose this option, and then you would apply the coupon code to get the discount. Okay, so that is pretty much everything, guys, in a nutshell. Um, Everything that I wanted to talk to you about today, that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you. Um, and we have a lot of different people who have messaged saying that uh, they wanted to get involved in dispatching. So I'm very proud to see that. I'm very glad to see that a lot of people are interested in getting into this. If you have any further questions, you're able to call that number, send me a text, or email me. And also make sure you go to our website, theperfectdispatcher.com. The link is at the bottom to be able to get the course. Again, make sure you use that particular coupon code. And I hope to see some of you guys in the training class soon. Like I said, the training class starts every Monday, and it goes from Monday to Sunday. That's where your 20 hours, if you're doing the nights and weekends, would your class for that would be in that particular time frame. Okay, but regardless, once you get enrolled in the class, we'll get everything worked out for you and get you scheduled. Okay. All right. Well, you guys have a good rest of your evening, and we look forward to seeing you in the near future.